Been a pretty good response to my Lincoln Continental review, so I figured I'd follow it up by talking a little bit more about the Lincoln Continental now that I've already done a test drive to show you basically how it rides. So I got a little bit of criticism. There were some people disagree with me. Oh yeah, well, you know, they didn't need to make it bigger, blah, 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 blah. I don't want to hear any of it because it's counterproductive and it makes no sense for the very simple reason that right now one of Lincoln's best-selling products is actually that right there, the Lincoln Navigator. Anybody who wants to complain about what I say when I say that, number one, they need to make the cars bigger and that they should have had a V8 option, even though obviously it's going to be a low take. You don't understand the mentality of the average Lincoln buyer. The Navigator and Cadillac's Escalade essentially carry on the tradition of what those companies ultimately stood for when they first got started. They made big cars for Americans, and you know, even though V8 isn't the most efficient power plant, the simple fact is the cars were huge, and because they were huge, they offered plenty of space for a full family. Because you got to remember, Americans used to have bigger families for one, and then on top of that, they used to have wagons. Used to be a big deal. The modern crossover is essentially a wagon. That's basically what a modern crossover is. It's a wagon. And you're dealing with not only can you seat your whole family, but on top of that, you can put all that cargo and stuff in there. And the Navigator as is a great vehicle. The luxury limousine companies love Navigators, and they love them specifically because they're so big and good looking. They're very great looking cars, but they're really, really, really spacious, and that's the number one issue. So ultimately, when you get to the Continental, the disappointments come from interior space. Now, the rear seat headroom could be better. There's no argument, because I'm telling you, yeah, they need to make it taller, but they didn't. There's no argument, because as far as I'm concerned, they just need to make it bigger, period. That's it. There's no argument. So, I mean, it's a great looking car. It's a great looking car, and if you get the rear seat packages, you get so many of the features that you want to have. Now, granted, listen, the average person who's like less than 6 feet tall, they're not going to have a problem with this car. They're not going to have a problem at all. Every car, as you notice, pretty much comes with USB, and it comes with a power inverter now. The rear seat legroom, as you remember from my review, I didn't complain about rear seat legroom because I was actually very happy with it. I was also happy that they included folding seats. Now, these 60-40 split benches you can't get if you get the reclining back seat package, which is totally understandable because it pretty much getting that reclining seat package automatically basically precludes you from being able to fold the seats forward. I totally understand that, so I'm not going to complain about that. Now, the layout that they've decided to take, obviously people who know Mercedes already understand that Lincoln decided that, okay, we're going to go with the Mercedes design. And that was a great idea. I've got no problem with that. That was a great idea. Having the seat controls up here makes it so you don't have to reach under your ass to get to the seat controls. I like that. I really like that. I really like that. And, it makes it easier to deal with, right? Now, this car doesn't have the massage seats right here. And it also doesn't have the, what do they call it, the 30-way ultimate seating. But what you do get is you get 1, 2, 3 memory seats. And that's really nice. I like that. Memory seats are good. Memory seats are great. When you got the memory seats, it's like you can get way more comfortable. That's a good thing. But see, the problem is Lincoln has to offer stuff to make their product stand out. Now, I have to say, those 30-way seats really is a great offer. You look at this color right here. So this one's the silver. Look at those lights. See those silvers? And then this one right here is the, what is this? This one right here is the dark interior. And this color, magnetic gray metallic, $52,000. It comes out to $53,000. That's all right. And then there's white MKZ. And then there's the criticism that I said about the fact that they're losing more of their sedan sales to crossovers. See, crossovers are large. You step up inside them. They offer you more ground clearance. And then they offer you all-wheel drive. So in order for the sedans in general to compete with the crossovers, the sedans have to be bigger. One of the best sedans from the American domestics that I've seen is the Cadillac XTS. And the reason why is because the Cadillac XTS is huge. It has a huge high roof for the front and the back seat. And it's actually, it works out pretty well. And me personally, I like the XTS way more than I actually like the CT6. Now, the XTS, you know, if I was Cadillac, I wouldn't discontinue that car because I really didn't feel that the CT6 was a perfect improvement over the XTS. I just didn't think so. But you know, a lot of these companies, they're designing their cars for a target market that they just don't understand. And that I think that's ultimately the problem that I have with them. Because when it comes to the American car market, it's like you have to not only offer cool things, you got to offer interesting things to get people to buy. But on top of that, you have to offer bigger cars. You just got to do it. So, you know, I think I already demonstrated the sync system and how they changed it, but I think I'll do so again, just so you pretty much have a good understanding about how Microsoft, the sync system in the Lincolns works. So this is the touch display, and as you can see, it still sings to you. And as you know, they have this push button transmission system. Do you want to turn on automatic system? Well, yes, I would. And also, you got to notice that the center tunnel, part of the reason why the Lincoln MKS did so poorly, because the center tunnel unnecessarily bunkerized the interior. One thing you'll notice is that the center tunnel has been reduced in size. But basically, you can, the new sync looks pretty good. Looks pretty good. And that's your nav screen right there. And that's your climate control system, audio control, and anything that's there can be accessed using the voice nav. So everything is pretty functional, and you have apps that you can download like Pandora and Sirius Travel Link, which comes already built in. What they did was, the most important thing that they did, and I already said this, the most important thing that they did was adding physical controls. See, the problem is, if you don't have physical controls, you can't quickly do things like turning the volume up, turning the next station. And then, this is the thing that bothers me so much. A base car anything that wants to call itself a luxury car should automatically come with heated and cooled seats. I don't understand why you would bother to build a $50,000 plus car and not have heated cooled seats, when heated cooled seats is a standard in cars that are now costing $30,000, $35,000. I don't understand why they would bother to make so many different versions of the seat when they could make one version of the seat and then they could make the premium version of the seat. Because even with these seats in here, this is the base version. This is the base version of the seat. And you can get not only the 30-way seat, but on top of that, there's an option to get the massage system. So it seems to me that all of the premium cars should come with not only the 30-way seat, but they should also come with the massage system. I shouldn't have to go after the massage system in addition to the 30-way seat. That should just be built in. In my opinion, it would probably save you money despite the manufacturing cost of the units, because when people come back and you want to sell a certified pre-owned car, now as a dealer, you don't have to go and search for a pre-owned car that has features that you just didn't include in the premium car. If somebody comes in and they want to buy a premium certified pre-owned Lincoln Continental, they're going to want all of those cool features that they read about. They're not going to want to see blank buttons. The base version of this car should come with heated and cooled seats. Now, I can understand not having the 30 ways, But the 30-way should come with every single Ultimate version along with the massage seats. I shouldn't have to search for those extra pieces. I just shouldn't have to do it. But, you know, all-wheel drive and V6s at this point is pretty much the standard. I mean, most people really aren't speeding in these cars. They're not drag racing in these cars. It would be nice if they built a premium version that had, like, the Boss engine that they put in the Mustang. It would be really nice if they did that. But Lincoln doesn't have they just don't have the panache or the balls. They'll take you only but so far, and they're just not willing to help you cross the mountain. And that's where my criticism comes in. And there's a lot of people who criticize me when I talk about Cadillac. There's a lot of people criticizing me when I talk about Lincoln. But let me tell you something. If I was designing their cars, this car would have been a little bit more spacious. This car would have been an S-class competitor, even though it cost $30,000 less. I would have put so much cool shit in this car, you wouldn't even want an S-class. You just wouldn't want one. And the S-class is probably the best car on the entire market, under $100,000. But even that car has some shortcomings that I talked about when I made my S-Class versus 7 Series video. You know, so, you know, it's a great, they got the features down. USB ports in front, USB ports in the back, 12 volts in the front, inverter in the back. They got the features down. They got most of the features down, but there's so many other directions that they should have taken this car. I mean, the car itself is okay. I mean, basically, this is an E-Class competitor, and it costs about, what, $5,000-$6,000 less than an E-Class. So the only question you got to wonder is, well, which badge am I willing to spend $800 or $900 a month for? Am I willing to spend it on the Lincoln badge or the Mercedes E-Class badge? And in my opinion, because of the interior space differences, I'd probably go after the E-Class. But in one of the videos I made, I did talk about the fact that the Genesis was so much bigger that the Genesis itself was a great option for people who needed a really big road touring car. And a lot of people who hear me talk about Cadillac and Lincoln, they don't want to hear me say Hyundai in the same sentence. But guess what? Ultimately, people are going to buy what they feel meets their needs. So either you meet their needs and put your hands out to take their money, or you don't meet their needs and then they go over to the competitor. That's the trunk space. Look at the trunk space. Continental has fantastic trunk space. Fantastic trunk space. One of the other things I like is the fact that most of their cars come with a spare tire, which is something that they've been getting rid of, because the problem is, even though a lot of people get spare tires with their cars, most people don't know how to install them. And some people might say that, you know, installing a spare tire should be part of getting your driver's license, and that everybody from teen drivers on up should be able to install a spare tire. The thing about it is, we have services now like AAA, and with AAA services, nobody really needs to install their own tires anymore. See, this thing is an E-Class competitor. Why couldn't they have just taken it a little further? Hell, they should build a town car. Make the town car an S-Class competitor. Charge $15,000, $20,000 more. People will pay it. You got to understand, a lot of these cars sell to the luxury limo companies. People will pay it. They got the money. You spent, what, $1,000 a month? If people will spend $1,000 on a BMW 7 per month for a lease, they would buy this. But the problem is, you got to make it a big-ass option. It's got to be huge. Like Donald Trump would say, it's got to be huge. Huge. It's a great looking car. Great looking car. Let's see. How about the, what is it? The hood. You got that silly little EcoBoost engine in there. Ego Boost. The Ego Boost engine. Yeah, so, you know, nothing sophisticated. Very simple, straightforward V6. Twin turbo. Like the MKS. A little less than, you know, less than 410 horsepower. But the thing about it is, if you're getting a family luxury car like this, you don't really care so much about the horsepower. But you do want that sound. You want it to have a nice, rich sound like a V8. And that right there, that's the Lincoln Continental once again. So I'm going to sew this video together and make an even longer second video since my first video just passed 10,000 views. My MKZ video actually did pretty well too. It got 90,000 views. Now, see, this is what I would do if I was Lincoln. I would do what Chrysler does. I'd make a lot of the stuff that's available on this car available in the MKZ. Those 30-way seats, fit those into the MKZ. Make them an option. Make a $10,000 option. There's people who pay it. A lot of these people, some people want a smaller car, but they want all the tech options. Especially when you're talking about seat comfort. People will pay a lot of money for seat comfort. But you're talking about massage and heat and cooling. Man, people will pay it, man. Just, you got to build it. What did they say? If you build it, they will come.
Cause I'm coming through with my whole team, they coming too, that's real. Too real. Motherfucker, tell me how you feel. I'm too good for my own good. I won't leak the album, I let it spill. Number one, bitch, I bet it will.
It looks really good. It feels really good. I just can't wait for more of them to get that backseat package, you know?
Oh, that's gonna be hot, the backseat package.
Yeah, and the self-driving stuff, because they can stay in the lanes and all that. Because when you get these things, you got to get them fully loaded.
No, you have to.
Fully loaded.
If you get a nice car.
Huh?
If you get one of these cars, you have to get.
No, you got to get it fully loaded. All the equipment. Fully loaded. As these leases run out, it's like we just, replace it with the newest and the best.
Okay,
the newest and the best.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it looks and feels pretty good.
No, it's a beautiful ride.
Yeah.
This way.
Yep. And with the self-driving stuff, that would be like really great. You'd be in traffic and stop and go.
Stop and go. Yeah, it feels like you know about all this.
Oh, no, believe I've purchased so many cars.
You know about all that stop and go.
Let me tell you, I've bought so many cars. It's like I know these cars like a book.
That's the best. Stop and go. Oh my god.
Yeah, but and they offer you a lot of stuff. And what I do like is that the newer cars, they have better gas mileage because of
they do.
These turbo engines,
You know what? Some people love this and some people hate it. I guess.
What did they say that they didn't like about it? One thing I'll tell you this: I was sitting in the back, and the headroom for me in the back could have been a little bit better. The headroom, yes.
Because I'm the middle.
Okay.
Some of them didn't. They thought it would have been different.
When they say different, what do you mean?
Like
bigger?
Like bigger.
And that's the thing, because you know what the problem is? A lot of the competition.
Is a little bit bigger.
Which one?
The S that you have is a little bit bigger on the back.
You know what? The headroom's a little bit bigger.
You know what is the back, because you have the bubbly.
Oh, I think that's a Google car. Look at that. That's how they do your maps for a Google car maps. And they have that camera, and that camera tracks the streets. And that camera basically it puts all those pictures everywhere. So basically, they just drive around any old way, any old direction, and it just maps the entire place. Oh, okay. So, yeah, got some Ram trucks.
Oh my god.
So they said bigger, and what else?
They wanted bigger and longer.
You didn't go to the car show, did you? Did you see the blue Navigator? They had a Navigator in a bright blue, and it had gull-wing doors.
I heard it's amazing,
but
right?
they said that I don't know if they're going to make it. They need to make that.
We're getting a Navigator. We're getting the new Navigators, but not that one.
If they build that you could sell at $100,000. People would buy it.
Probably
people would buy it. It was incredible.
No, I saw the one. I mean, I've seen it online. I go online and look at it, but.
It was absolutely incredible, and it was just a nice color. Like, you don't see that kind of color on anything. Okay, it's about like the EcoBoost was.
Yeah, pretty much. Now at this light, we can go around. At this light, we go all right.
Right. Okay. Yeah,
it's like the MKZ powerful. I mean, it's gonna be powerful. Depends what motor you get. It gets more powerful.
Because we definitely want the best powerful motor. Because when you load the cars up, you can feel it.
Yeah.
Like,
you'll feel it.
Like if you load it up with people, or you load it up with if you go on a long drive.
Yeah, you can feel it. Definitely.
Oh yeah, it's lovely interior. I like the color. Love that color. And I guess the color options, you'll have a lot more options.
Oh my God, yes. It's totally a lot of options. All different kinds.
This is gorgeous.
I'm looking forward to the Navigator.
I don't.
That's what
you know
I'm
what?
looking forward to.
We have a V8 Navigator, and I think it's a 2010. But the problem was we wanted another V8, and they only made the V6. Now they say that it has more power. But when you
That's what
tow,
they
you
say.
get worse gas mileage.
Yeah.
You know, when you tow with it, because it uses more boost
Yeah.
pressure.
What do you guys do? What do you do?
Car service.
Oh, okay.
You know, like
Like an
Uber.
Uber?
Yep.
A lot of the Ubers, you know what a lot of them get? The MKT.
The MKT, you know why? It's a crossover. It's got a lot of headroom. It's got a lot of leg room.
A
Now,
lot of them get that.
when you have a funeral service, the MKT is the best.
Yeah.
But if you're doing like limo,
Yeah,
chauffeur,
right. It's like okay.
you know, if you for what we like cars that look just like this,
Okay.
black cars, you know, nice interiors,
Yeah.
not too nice because you don't want people messing it
No,
up.
they know.
And you got to keep detailing it.
Yeah, because they know how to do that.
But it's really good money. Believe me or not, the cars pay for themselves.
Okay, so
Because in like less than a week, you've
That's
already
it.
made the car payment. In
So
less
it's
than a
actually
week.
worth it.
It is. It really is. That's why a lot of people do it.
Yeah, we get a lot of them.
Yeah.
We get around them, so we get a lot of them, I have to say.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? Money's money, right?
Yeah.
If you can make money doing that, why not?
And you've been to Manhattan.
Yeah.
If you do car servicing between Manhattan and JFK
That's
or
all-
Manhattan and
that's all you need,
LaGuardia,
right?
it
That's
works
all you
perfect.
need.
It works perfect.
That's all you
It
need.
works absolutely perfect.
It's a nice car. It's all you're gonna like it.
Because I'll tell you, some of the people, $150 for one way to JFK.
yeah.
To JFK,
God.
one way, $150.
We're gonna make
Sometimes 200 with the
a
tips.
right. We're gonna make a right, yeah.
Yeah.
So you like it, right? You like the feel.
I
It's
like
nice.
it, yeah.
So
Yeah.
no more MKS. We actually sold our last MKS.
No kidding. So you don't
That's
order
it.
anymore?
We don't
huh?
have no more. They don't make anymore. It's done.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're done with that. Thank God. Now we got new ones coming out.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And I'm probably sure you probably noticed the MKS that actually sold the most was just the base model.
Yes.
Because nobody's really racing in these cars. Nobody's.
where they going?
Yeah.
No.
You're just driving it
Yep.
smooth down south, Florida.
Yep. A lot of them do. It's a beautiful car.
Yeah.
It is.
Quiet, very quiet.
We had the one we just sold was the last hybrid we had.
Oh, the last height.
216 hybrid. Yeah.
Wow.
It's a nice one.
Yeah, they're very, very quiet.
Right.
And they're very smooth rides,
Yeah.
very quiet foot. Like the Lincoln cars have great ride quality. They really do.
I used to have a Cadillac. Cadillac.
Which one?
SLX.
Oh yeah, my mom has that.
Yeah.
In fact, I got it for
It's different. It's different than, Lincoln and Cadillac.
All right.
Now work is here.
Very, very nice. Let me let this guy know.
Like I said, late, if you want to come back later and speak to any of the salespeople, they're definitely here. They're just doing them. Put a call. I'll take it.
All right. If you move the car on
Yeah.
back in. Okay. All right.
Look at you. You're feeling this. You're like, this is great.
Yeah. Push reverse. We're going to reverse. It's a really great car. So I already know we're going to end up getting one. The only question is what options we're going to have when we actually get it. But it's a really great car, really great feel. Really great feel. And the women are going to love the luxurious interior. They're going to love it. Headroom could be a little bit better, but other than that, it's fantastic. If you get the more expensive version of the car, you'll pay closer to $60,000 and possibly even exceed $60,000. But what you'll get is the more advanced front seat and the more advanced rear seat package. As you can see, there is a left and right toggle for the waterfall cushions. Most other cars typically keep the waterfall cushions as one piece, and they usually make it pop in and retract back inwards, so that this way you can give the underside of your thighs a little bit more comfort. The seats also have a mid-back reclining option, and they also have obviously the powered headrest option. And I actually really like these seats. Hopefully what Lincoln will do is put these seats into the MKZ and probably even port these seats into the upper end crossover cars, because ultimately, in my opinion, Lincoln has a better product here than the Cadillac CT6. Despite the fact the CT6 is a rear-wheel drive car and maybe offers a little bit more power, I really like the materials that are in the Lincoln a little bit more. So I'd hope to see that in the future Lincoln cars. Naturally, the other thing that they added was physical controls, such as I already showed you in the MKZ. The physical controls make quickly changing your heating and seat cooling, as well as other functions like the windshield and the rear defroster and the front defogger. It makes changing all of that much simpler. You can't replace a seat knob and a volume knob, so I wish the industry would simply stop trying. This is a lot easier to use than the last models. If I have to level one complaint, it's that the rear seat headroom feels roughly the same as I felt in the CT6. They're both too short, and I wasn't impressed because I couldn't sit straight up. Now, smaller people, such as the people in China that they model a lot of these cars after, won't have this problem, but I was disappointed by rear seat headroom. The legroom is okay in the back, but headroom, having more of it, helps make the case for a car this size. That is part of the reason why people are going to crossovers instead. It's because they get more legroom and they get more headroom because they're sitting straight up. So if they would fix that by making higher headroom space, which I hope they'll do, but I guess they're not going to be able to do it this time around, then they'd have a way better product. What they really need to do is benchmark the S-Class, and they need to benchmark the Hyundai Genesis, because they didn't skimp when they made their rear seat headroom. Shorter people won't have a problem with it, but my issue is there is a buyer market going on right now that is moving towards crossovers simply because they aren't able to get the interior space out of these cars that they want and demand. They want to feel like they have a big car. Okay. Okay, so they have the split bench, but if you now it's heated and cooled seats, but not the but if you get the recline package, it can't fold down.
No, it doesn't fold down. You just get just the seats, and you get just the same amount of space in the trunk. It just doesn't fold down to put extra stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like it doesn't go down over there. That's the only difference.
Okay. All right.
And that's the whole spiel.
Okay. Alrighty. Alright, yeah. Looks good. Yeah, this is nice. This is really nice.